What are the uncommonly known traits of Libra? Then the first one is hates confrontation. Libras just dislike the confrontation, and it's really uncommonly known that people know that. They can be people who like to debate and argue, and they'll stand their ground, but they actually don't really enjoy confrontation unless it's in a professional environment, unless it's like true levels of discourse and true levels of discussion. Anything that's not that, they will still fight their ground because obviously, they don't want to show that they're weak, or they don't want to be dominated, or whatever it may be. Or maybe they do have a point to make and they really want to make that point, but they actually don't like the confrontation. That's why sometimes they can be passive aggressive and these types of things, instead of actually being directly aggressive, because they're actually just trying to avoid a confrontation, but still making their point in a manner that maybe you dislike. Number two, they also dislike ugliness, if I spelled that right. They dislike ugliness. They don't like ugly. And when I know it's like a bit funny, but it's not necessarily meaning someone how they look, like their looks or whatever. It's the ugliness in their character, the ugliness in how they talk, the ugliness in what they do. It can also mean like ugliness in terms of an environment. They dislike ugly places. They need to be in beautiful places. They just don't like to be around, or they find it very irritating or annoying, anything that's truly ugly to them, something that they find disgusting. And it can be something that maybe other people don't think that's a big deal, but for a Libra, they do find it irritating and annoying, and they don't want to be around any form of ugliness. And it can even be an ugly mentality that you have. They don't want to be around someone who is like that. They want to be around beauty, harmony, and balance. Ugliness is not in the equation. Number three is always scouting the next potential person. Always scouting the next potential person. What do I mean by that? Libras are always the type of people who, I'm not saying that they have a wandering eye or when in a relationship, but they do put people in certain categories. They do categorize people in places when it comes to the potential of them being having a certain connection, or a level of connection, and what level that person is in terms of how they are, in terms of can that person be, and they can even do it whilst they're in a relationship, even though they want to be committed in the relationship and they love their relationship, and they really, they could be married and they could be happy, but they still naturally have to look at somebody and assess them in terms of their potential of how they can be a partner to them, because Libras ultimately are partnership. So this is why they do that all the time, because they just can't help but thinking about partnership. They love it, they enjoy it, they need it, they normally have it, and they at the same time they desire it. It's one of them things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they will act on it. Alone time to reflect. They need to reflect. Sometimes Libras, when big things happen with them, big events, or yeah, just sometimes it can be traumatic events or big events or something major happen, a major argument, whatever it may be. They need alone time to reflect on everything that's happened. That's how they operate. They can't just be a type of person who is gonna discuss a problem with them. They're very partnership oriented in multiple things. But when it comes to this particular thing, when they need to work out what's going on in their brain and reflect on what's happened, they need alone time. So you can't really push a Libra to talk and communicate, or it's not even about communication. It's more about, you're not going to really get their true thoughts instantly. You have to allow them to reflect. Then their thoughts will come to the table. Number five, empaths are understanding. Libras because they're all about partnership, because they're all about the other person. When they're doing what they're doing, when they're communicating, when they're, socializing, they are actually they actually can kind of put themselves very much into your shoes. So they're very empathetic in how you feel, because that's how they like to solve your problem, or that's how they like to make you feel better, by putting themselves in your shoes. They really are very, very understanding. And they can be understanding in a way where even if you've done something that it's horrendous, it may be in your eyes, they will understand maybe the reason why you did what you did, or they will understand the depth of the reason. So they're empaths, and they're understanding. They're very empathetic to your needs, and they understand you. This is like, I think it's an amazing Libra trait, to be honest. So these are the 5 things these are a few things that, are uncommon to people that maybe aren't Libras. But to Libras, this is definitely something that they know for sure. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.